Hello and welcome to Doubles and Trebles. We're back with another Saturday preview. We've got Ayr and Newbury primarily this Saturday, the 17th of September. An okay profit last week, 4.2 points in front. Hopefully we can finish in front again this week and then do a little bit better. We're making up ground, lost earlier in the season. And as we always say on this channel, we don't put anything up as a bet unless we're backing it ourselves. I'm in a dangerous position this week because I quite fancy a load of different horses. It's the most fancies I've had on a Saturday or a big day for quite a long time. Straight into it, we're going to start at Ayr for their feature meeting of the season, the Ayr Gold Cup, 6 furlong handicap, 25 runners. There's loads of familiar names which we could spend an hour going through. Kanjar is the favourite in there at 9-2, won at Haydock previously, Summergand, Bielsa, Comanche Falls, Mr. Wagyu, Gulliver, who ran at the cover last week. There's loads of familiar names in there. One that stands out for me amongst a very competitive field, as you would expect, Vadream stands out, a Group 3 winner in her own right previously. She's been placed in 3 other group races and was a 3-length 5th in a Group 1 champion sprint at Ascot less than a year ago. So she's got plenty of high-class form and she's in a handicap here, Vadream. Cheek Pieces went on last time for the first time, where she was a head second in a Newmarket listed race. So the cheek pieces seemed to work. Before that, I think she had blinkers on, did not work, pretty much bombed out. So the cheek pieces went on at Newmarket and they seemed to have a good effect. She was second in a good listed race at Newmarket. The third that day in the listed race, won a listed race at Doncaster last week. The sixth from that Newmarket race was second in the aforementioned Doncaster listed race. So it's good form. She comes in here in good form. The cheek pieces are staying on. She's 16-1 each way, 6 places for Dream. She's still quite lightly raced in comparison to many of her rivals. The ground will be fine, the trip will be fine, and the jockey in Oisinor is fine. 16-1 each way, 6 places, and you're going to get best odds guaranteed with that as well. So I can see that 16-1 disappearing pretty soon. We're recording on Thursday early evening, should I say. There's also 25 runners in the Ayr Silver Cup. Massively difficult. It's for those that didn't quite get into the Ayr Gold Cup itself. It's 8-1 the field for starters. There's only one horse of the 25 quoted at a single figure price. That is Snash, David Allen in the saddle for that one. I thought it was generous that Abolish remained on a mark of 90 for his effort at Haydock a fortnight ago. That was behind Kanjar, who is favourite for the Ayr Gold Cup, as I've mentioned. This is the silver. You can get 14-1 about Abolish, 6 places again with the best odds guaranteed. I thought Abolish travelled really nicely that day at Haydock. Could have been closer with a better ride, in my opinion. Andrew Mullen takes over the saddle this time from Paul Hannigan. He's been getting better as the season goes on, Abolish. It would be my idea of the bet in this race at 14-1, but it is wildly wide open. It truly is. But Abolish, 14-1 each way. In the 155 at Ayr, that's a listed race over 10 furlongs. Phantom Fly is the bet of the day. He looks a horse well on the up, and I thought he'd be a lot shorter than 15-8 to win this. It's not a great race in truth. This is listed. Phantom Flight won a handicap at York, easy as you like, by over 5 lengths last time. And before that was unlucky when finishing third to St. Ledger runner-up New London in a group race at Newmarket. It looks progressive. It's sure to continue to progress, in my opinion. And I fancy him. The 15-8 is too big. He's trained by James Horton and he's ridden by PJ McDonnell. If you was to replace them with trained by Sir Michael Stout in the Cheveley Park colours and ridden by Ryan Moore, it'd be even money for this. 15-8 is too big. Phantom Flight, really do fancy that one. The final race we're going to touch on at Ayr is the 305, the Firth of Clyde Stakes. This is for fillies, 2-year-olds. Sometimes races that I avoid, fillies only races, particularly at 2, but there's 13 in this, and it's thrown up some results over the years. Only 2 winning favs in the last 10 years. 4 in the last 10 years have been at double figure prices. Queen Me is the favourite this year, and she sets a fair standard on in fairness. She was a next second in the Group 2 Lowther at the Ebor Festival. This is a step down from that. She's 7-4. Like I say, sets the standard, and if you're beating her, you're probably winning the race. Believing is the one for me at the prices. She's available at 10-1, each way 4 places. Again, you're going to get best odds guaranteed on that. Believing's got some decent enough form behind good yardsticks earlier in the season, finishing behind the likes of Chateau, Lizu, Morge, Legend of Xanadu, all pretty good horses that have won some decent races between them. But the key to believing is, and you've got to believe, she's had a 50-day break before her most recent start, and she looked a completely different prospect to me. Looked a completely different animal. A really promising performance. Looked more professional, settled. I can't believe she's 10-1 with the 4 places. The form figures might not be sexy. She's got form figures in there, 4-5-2 her last 3 starts, which is fair enough. But she's definitely been running at a higher level than most of the rivals in this race. Again, 10-1. I really think she is overpriced, and I will be backing her. 4 places each way. I think that's going to be that's a good bet. Just on her most recent start at Kempton, that was in a Group 3. She was second behind Mischief Magic. She was the only one to get anywhere near that one. Another Godolphin Hotshot 2-year-old. A promising performance. George Bowie's coming all the way up from Newmarket for this race at here. I do like believing at 10-1. Over at Newbury, they've got 2 or 3 races on ITV. The 140 is the first of those. It looks a nightmare, to be honest. There's 9 runners. Godolphin have the first, second and 4th favourites. Charlie Appleby, 2 of them. Saeed bin Saror, 1 of them. I'm struggling to split the top end of the market. The likes of Dubai Future, Siskani, I think are well matched. Solid Stone in there as well. But at a bigger price, Max Vega jumps off the page to me. She's 20-1. Career best performance at Newbury first time up this season in a very similar race. Newbury, she loves Newbury. Form figures of 2, 2 and 1. All at races at a similar level to this one. 20-1 each way, 3 places. I cannot see her going off at 20-1 at the off. I know I've said that about a few of these horses. I think Phantom Flight's too big. I think Believing's too big. And I think Max Vega's too big as well. If the price is too big and you fancy them, if the price is bigger than you thought it would be, and that comment applies to all 3 of those that I've put up most recently, get on. It's as simple as that. Another Group 3 at Newbury, the 215. Group 3, but over 5 furlongs this one. And again, I'm all over Mitbaahy. I really quite fancy this one. He looked a sprinter going places with a couple of cracking performances at Sandown earlier in the season. A return to that form would certainly put him right amongst these lot. Particularly at 7-1. You can put a massive line through his effort at Glorious Goodwood. He'd had 4 or 5 runs in quick succession. He missed a break there and was just never ever in the race. He's had a 50-day break since, which I think will be really helpful to him. He is only 3 years old. He's one of the most inexperienced in the field, potentially the only 3-year-old in the field, actually, just looking. Put a line through Goodwood. The 50-day break should have freshened him up. And if he can return to anything like he was at Sandown, he'll be going very close. I think 7-1 each way, 4 places. You'll do well to not get some money back from that type of bet. Trainer Roger Varian's in cracking form. And the jockey, David Egan, is also in flying form and high in confidence. So we've quickly rattled through there. But I've looked plenty at these races today. And those are the bets that stand out. Vadream and Abolish. Big field handicaps, you're going to take your medicine there. You might be a bit unlucky, but the likes of Phantom Flight, Believing, Max Vega and Mitbaahy, I really do quite fancy. At least 3 of those to run really well, and Max Vega's at a big price at 20-1 as well. So thanks for tuning in. We're going to try and get more profit again this week. I'll put the selections in the description as usual, and all bets are either 1 point win or 1 point each way. We're advised. So thanks for tuning in, and let us know who you fancy in the comments.